Okay, what is the first feeling you get when you see a Muslim pass by you? I bet many of you automatically think negatively of them, and I bet that mentality came from media. Isn't that right? Like, you know, when you watch the news and they're all reporting about the Muslims, bombings, and Osama bin Laden. Now, I did some research, and I found that in the Wikipedia online encyclopedia. Arabs are always portrayed in movies and television in the 3B syndrome, which is bombers, billionaires, and belly dancers. Okay, story time, which is part of the interview that I did with my friend Layla. I met her in senior year of high school. I automatically knew like she had like an Islamic religion because she wore a head bandana. But I didn't really pay attention to her because, you know, I thought I was scared of her inside, but like, you know, I'm a senior, so I rode school. I'm not supposed to be scared. Plus, like, she looks like this. So I was really intimidated by her, so I didn't really pay attention to her, and I just wanted to like stay away from her. You know, because look how she looks like. She has dark eyeliner, and like, she wore black, and like, I don't know, she worships the devil, so I didn't really pay attention to her. And she wasn't talking too much either, so I thought she was a snob. But in the end, we ended up being partners for a group project, and I was forced to work with her. And shockingly, I came to a realization that we were like destined to be like exchanging music like every week. So every week I had like cool CDs from underground rock and all these underground music CDs. And another shocking thing was I found that she was half Filipino. Like me. So I did again some research, and according to the World Factbook, 90% of the population of Egypt religion is Islam. There are two types. Whoa. Okay, there are two types, and it's called the Sunni and the Shiite. And the bloody people are the Shiites. I guess they're more violent than the Sunnis. Majority of the population is Sunni. So today I want to talk about the 5 pillars of Islam. The 5 pillars of Islam is a core theory of the Islamic religion. So these are basically the duties of a Muslim. One is the testimony of faith. And then the second one was the ritual prayers. Third one was fasting, and the fourth one is charity, and the fifth one is the pilgrimage. So let's go talk about it. The first pillar is the testimony of faith. It simply means that you have to believe in one God, which is Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Then to the detailed process of praying, which is the salah. I'm not really going to discuss about it because it's really complicated. But basically, they pray like 5 times a day. It's early morning, early afternoon, late afternoon, evening, and late at night. Unlike the Shiites, they pray in groups. And at first, everything has to be clean. The place where they're praying has to be clean. They have to wash their face, their arms, and then wipe their heads and feet in that order. And they have to face towards the Mecca, which is their church or praying place. Now, the way they pray is that they start with a standing position, and then they say a prayer, and then they raise their hand and say a prayer, and then bow down and say a prayer, and then stand up again, say a prayer, and then do it all over again. Next is the ritual they do during the Ramadan period, which is their holy one. They are not allowed to eat, drink, smoke, or have sex from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that's like literally from from sunrise till sunset. Now, if they break this ritual, they have several penalties for them that they can choose from. One penalty includes fasting for 60 consecutive days. Now, there are also exceptions in the rituals, which excludes the weak people, elderly, diabetics, pregnant ladies, and girls who are in their menstruation. By fasting, they can sort of experience hunger, like the poor, and it gives them a sense of self-control and patience. And ultimately, I think the most important part of the ritual is that they can save food, which then they can donate to the poor, which is the fourth pillar, is the charity. It's an obligatory almsgiving, which is Muslims reserve 2.5% of their wealth and to the poor to be evenly distributed. Finally, the last pillar is the pilgrimage to the Mecca. It requires every Muslim who is able, healthy, and affording, and just basically knows how to travel, to go to the Mecca and pray there. During their annual pilgrimage, I found out from online again from Wikipedia Encyclopedia that because there are like 4 million Muslims who visit the Mecca in Saudi Arabia, I found out that in 2006, like 600 Muslims died because of overcrowding and stampedes. So let's do a recap of the 5 pillars of Islam. First is the testimony of faith, ritual prayers, and fasting, charity, and the pilgrimage to Mecca. I hope that by giving you some background information about the Islam religion, you will better understand the Muslim culture, and that you will reduce stereotyping and have effective intercultural communication. I hope that you don't stereotype them with the 3B syndrome, billionaires, bombers, and belly dancers. In fact, sometimes we shouldn't even do that anymore because sometimes we stereotype non-Muslims who look like Muslims, and I believe there's so much barriers just because there's so much misinterpretation. I mean, 90% of the population is Islam, and it's so misunderstood. So I hope we shouldn't do that, and instead we should learn more about it. Thank you.
I think your 90% there is for Egypt, right?
Yes.
The world population. Okay. Any questions?
So they give their money, 2.5% of their salaries to the poor?
Yeah.
So that means nobody's poor there.
I don't know how.
Right, how does that work then?
I'm not sure what the mechanism is. I guess they give it to their mosques and imams and so on. Do that. But it's an interesting aspect to look at, the difference between Sunni and Shiite Muslims, because if you find out more information about that, you maybe come to a better understanding of why there is a civil war going on in Iraq between these two groups. And there's some key differences there, but one of the things that split the two groups